live.
Hey, Breaking Brown family, it's Yvette Carnell coming to you as I do every Monday and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming to you to talk about the politics of the day and having that conversation. But as usual, I'm going to do what we always do in terms of giving everybody a moment to get situated, giving everybody a moment to get here, giving everybody a moment to log on, giving everybody a moment to remember, oh, it's that time. It's that time to go and see what Yvette and I are talking about. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to kind of fill in the room. That's what I'm going to do. While we're doing that, I have a little housekeeping that I want to kind of get in order right now. First of all, those of you who already contribute every month, if you already give me money every month in terms of making a donation to Breaking Brown, if that's what you already do and you want the newsletter, send me an email at editor@breakingbrown.com so that I can add you on, like, as an appreciation for, like, you already being a contributor. So if you already donate, not have donated one time, but if you already making a recurring donation, because this is a recurring newsletter, I want to give you the opportunity to get that newsletter. If you don't want to get it, then that's fine. But if you do, send me an email at editor@breakingbrown.com. Some of you haven't opened the newsletter, and some of you are emailing me saying that you haven't received the newsletter. Well, here's the thing. I found that a lot of people have found that it's going to their promotions folder. So check your promotions folder, check your spam folder, and see if it's in there. Because from what the service that I use tells me, it only bounced from one email. So everybody else on that list should have got it. If you didn't, you can always reach out to me and let me know, and I'll double check for you. But make sure you do that. Also, on YouTube, there is something that looks like a bell. It's a notifications little button, so you can get notified whenever I'm live, and whenever I put up a new video. So if you're watching from YouTube, click that little notifications button for me so that you can get notified when I'm on. I want you to also, if you're watching this, I want you to subscribe. We're at 18,000 now, so subscribe. You can go to breakingbrown.com and subscribe to the newsletter, which is $2, which is $2 a month, which is 50 cents a newsletter. You can go to donatebrown.com and make a one-time donation. You can make a recurring donation also at breakingbrown.com. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please share it, because that, as I say this all the time, but I can't say it enough, is share it and like it, because that determines how widespread it gets on Facebook when we're trying to do that thing we do over here. So that's pretty much my housekeeping for right now. So I want to get started on what our topic is for today. Hey, everybody. Hey, Trey. Hey, Wanda. I want to get started. Hey, Sonny, I appreciate the donation. So let me get started what I want to talk about today. And I want to frame it like everything needs a frame. And when you're watching anything, you need to be aware of the frame that is being put in front of you and how it's being framed. So I want to start out talking about something I saw yesterday. Antonio Moore tagged me in a post that he put on Facebook. And the post that I'm going to put up in just a second, the post really got me to thinking. And it got me to thinking about a conversation that I think we should have. So when you put it up big. I mean, I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read it to the people, because I think we should have this conversation. Because what I'm trying to find when I'm having these conversations, I'm trying to figure out something. I'm trying to figure out what are the gaps. What are the gaps in learning, right? Like, what do I need? What do I need to address? Like, what do I need to address that isn't already addressed? Like, what am I trying to get to? What am I missing when I have these conversations? And what I hear a lot when people talk to me, people say, well, Yvette, you sound depressing when you talk. You sound hopeless. And I try to kind of figure that out. Like, how are facts hopeless? That's like saying, well, Yvette, the color we call the sky is blue. And you calling it blue makes me hopeless. No, it just kind of is what it is. Or it's kind of like you saying 2 + 2 = 4, and that makes me hopeless. So what I want to do is I want to go to that image. I want to go to that image so that I can show you what he wrote and show you my interpretation of it, and show you what I think we need to do in reaction to it. So put it up for me. And I'm going to read it to you. Make it big if you can, so they can see. They don't even need to see me right now. I just want them to see this. This is the quote that he put up, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it while it's up, and I want you to read it with me. It says, as I have covered, according to the Federal Reserve, the bottom 50% of African American families control 1% of the national wealth. there are 14 million black homes. 12 million of the 14 million homes fall into the bottom 50% of American households by worth. To not be in the bottom 50%, your household needs to be worth $100,000. To not be in the bottom 50%, your household needs to be worth $100,000. Okay? As a note, the 12 million or 85% of black homes in the bottom 50% of America are nominal, or a nominal share of even that bottom half's 1% of wealth. The top 10% of whites own 74% of wealth. The top 10% of whites own 74% of wealth. The group of whites from the 50th percentile to their 10th are worth 22% of the wealth. That totals 96% of the wealth, leaving 4% for everyone else. Were we able to get that a little bit bigger?
Yeah, we're trying.
So understand one thing. You need $100,000. $100,000. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And bring it down some so we can see the whole thing. Like, that's a big deal. Like, look at those. I want you to look at those numbers. To not be in the bottom 50%, your household needs to be worth more than $100,000. $100,000. Now I want you to think about that. I want you to look at that post. I want you to see that post up close, and I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what that post says, about what you need in order to have a shot in America today. That's what you need. That's what you need. Read that. Read that while we're talking about this. Now I want to bring this conversation back to hope. Because when you look at those numbers, when you look at the fact that we virtually have nothing, I'm not trying to depress you, but let me tell you, I have a problem with how many of you are understanding hope. That's a problem for me, about how many of you are interpreting hope and using hope to navigate your life. Now, we bring up hope and you say, I'm hopeless. Let me tell you, I do have some hope. I do have some hope. You know, I hope I don't get cancer. I hope I don't get another cracked tooth, because I have a cracked tooth and it's bothering me, right? Until I get it fixed, I hope I don't get another. I hope this one doesn't crack too deep, it might fall out. Those are realistic hopes. Those are hopes based on reality. It is a possibility. I probably have a 50% chance that this tooth is going to stay cracked where it is, or it's going to crack further. I probably have some chance. I probably have a pretty good chance that, you know, as long as I don't chew hard candy or eat almonds, that I'm not going to have that problem. That I'm not going to have that problem in the future. I have a chance at that. I have a shot. That's a realistic thing. So before I go any further though, I want to give you, in the next clip, I want to give you the definition of hope. Because we talk about hope. And when I say stuff, you tell me, Yvette, why can't I have any hope? Why won't you let me hope? What's the problem with hope? And I want to give you the definition to hope and show you how what you're doing is really not hope. I don't know what it is, but it's not hope. And even if it is, it's not good for you, it's not good for me, and it's not good for the black community. So let's put that up, and I'm going to read it direct.
It's up.
Okay, so this is what hope says. A feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. He looked through her belongings in the hope of coming across some information. Okay, synonyms: aspiration, desire, expectation. A verb: want something to happen or to be the case. That's hope. That's what hope is. If he's looking at her bag thinking that he wants to find something, he's hoping something will be there, that's a possibility. If I go to work tomorrow and I hope I brought my umbrella, that's a possibility. I might have brought the umbrella. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I thought to put it in my bag, maybe I didn't. That's hope. That's hope. That's what it is. These are the definitions. You're responding to a real possibility. It is a real possibility. That's what makes it hope. I don't know what is going on in the black community in terms of hope. And this idea that being optimistic or hopeful is necessarily going to lead you to somewhere good without black politics, without getting involved in your community, is a lead to insanity. Let me give you an example. I remember reading somewhere, and I can't remember where I read it, but I read it somewhere. And it was this Holocaust guy. He's the guy who had survived the Holocaust. And they asked him, they said, how did hope play into your survival, the way you survived the Nazis? How did hope play into it? And he says, and they asked him, were you optimistic? He said, not really. They said, well, what do you mean you weren't optimistic? He said, listen. The optimists and the pessimists were the ones who were least likely to make it. Let me say that again. The optimists and the pessimists were the ones who were least likely to make it. Why? The optimists were always saying, I know I'm going to get out of here tomorrow. I'm going to be out of here. Or I'm going to be out of here by Christmas. I'm going to be out of here by the fall. I'm going to be out of here by the time the first snowfall. The optimists were driving themselves crazy, and they didn't make it. The pessimists were the ones talking about, oh my God, I'm never going to get out of here. These Nazis, they're going to do, I get no chance. They're never coming for us. That was the pessimist. The realist was living in that particular moment. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know whether they're going to come and rescue me. I don't know whether I'm going to die, but I'm going to live this day and make this day the best it can be. That's what I'm going to do. That's what the realist did. And he said, listen, my survival was based on the fact that I was a realist. Not that I was an optimist or a pessimist for that matter, but the fact that I was a realist. This idea that we have that hope necessitates good things in our life, that hope is the harbinger of goodness, it's just not true. I've seen no evidence of it. Have you seen evidence of it, like in your real tangible life? Have you seen evidence of it? And you have to go back and think. If you go back to what Antonio said, to be in the bottom 50%, to not be in the bottom 50%, your household needs to be worth $100,000. Okay? As a note, the 12 million or 85% of black homes in the bottom 50% of America are nominal share. Okay? And then when you go down to the bottom of that quote, it says poor black Americans are 3 times more likely to be optimistic about the future than poor white Americans. You have the least and you're the most optimistic. And you need to tell me how that makes sense, because I don't see it. Because the reason that Trump got in office is because white people are not optimistic. They said, my life is bad, my life is getting bad, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to make something happen in my life because my life shouldn't be like this. I'm an American. And not only that, I'm a white American, and my life shouldn't be like this. And I acknowledge that my life isn't what it used to be. I don't have the opportunities that I used to have. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up and do something about it. I'm not going to hope. I'm going to get active and find some kind of anti-establishment candidate. Trump was the best they could do. He was the only anti-establishment. Our anti-establishment candidate was Bernie Sanders, and we chose Hillary instead. The white politics that elected Trump was not the politics of hope. It was the politics of I'm going to make a claim on my country. And that's what we need to do. Okay? And tell me, look at the ridiculousness of this. I want you to look at the ridiculousness of this. We're in the bottom 50%, right? We're in the bottom. What that means is this. You have 40%. You have 40% of black people who have zero or negative wealth. Zero or negative. 40% have zero or negative wealth. You have a president in the White House who's worth about $1 billion. This president is worth probably the bottom half of black America. One white man worth the bottom half of black America, and you gonna say you ain't even gotta talk to him and you don't care about him, and screw Trump and screw everybody else. Do you understand how insane that makes you to even have that conversation? Do you understand how insane, how not understanding numbers has affected your life, has affected my life, has affected our black politics? Do you not understand that? This is a big problem. And what I find, we can't afford therapy for obvious reasons. So what I find is that we are using hope to cope. We're using hope to cope. It's not tied to anything real. It's not realistic. It's not normal. It's not even anything that's adult-like. We're just using hope to cope because we can't do any better, so we just dream. That's what we do. And I said on this show once before, I've never met a poor black person. Because every black person I meet behaves as if they just passing through. I've never met a lower middle class black. I never even met a middle class black person, I don't think. Everybody tells me they're just passing through. It's almost like you walking down Black Street and you went, hey Malik, how you doing? Oh, I'm just passing through. I'm just passing through. Headed to $1 million, headed to $1 million town. How you doing? I'm just passing through too. I'm just everybody, how you doing? How you doing, Chandra? I'm all right. I'm just passing through. You know what happens when everybody thinks they're passing through the millionaire town? Nobody takes care of the community. Because everybody thinks they're going to be rich next week. So nobody wants to take care of the community they live in because everybody thinks I'm just passing through. No. Deal with where you are. Deal with what you have to deal with. Go to a town hall meeting. Go to a school board meeting. Take care of your family. Take care of your kids. Create moments for your kids that don't involve enriching white people or white wealth or white capitalists who are holding you down or white enslavers. Make moments. But you don't want to do that because in your mind, you're in some future place where you're going to be a millionaire and you're going to drive a Bentley. That's the only reason you all follow the people you follow on Instagram. That's the only reason you follow Diddy. That's the only reason you follow 50 Cent. In your mind, that is going to be your life one day. And you don't realize how that's driving you crazy. Now, I'm not telling you that you might not get there. I think you can work hard. And I think you should work hard. But there are no guarantees. You see the numbers. Trump's white politics was scary. They made liberals uncomfortable. Black politics about hope is not scary. You got to make some people uncomfortable. And just walking around being hopeful and hoping things are going to change doesn't do that. Our politics cannot be about making liberals comfortable. Democrats need to be scared to death of black people and black politics. You can't do that when you're the most hopeful, sunshiny thing on the block. That's the only way we get what we need. We don't get what we need believing that something that we can't even get our mind around is going to make it right. It's almost like, the worse things get for us, the bigger our dream is. So if we all had negative income, we will feel like we all were going to grow up and be president. Like the worse things get, the bigger our dream gets. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it's not. Let me tell you something. Let me just break this down really quickly. People, this is not really hope. This is imagination. This is imagination. This is not hope. This is something that you're imagining in your mind that makes you feel better. So you can live in this space in your mind and you can dream. This is hope. This is imagination mixed with propaganda. Imagination mixed with propaganda. That's what you're living through right now. There's nothing to be proud of about that. That stuff is going to drive you crazy. That is imagination. Propaganda is what they put out there and make you think you can be like every celebrity on TV. And you buy it, hook, line, and sinker, and don't realize you're making yourself crazy and you're neutralizing black politics. You're making yourself less powerful with this sort of hope. I can go, it's almost like, you ever saw a little kid who's like, I can go up in the rocket ship, daddy. Or a little girl who's like, wear her mama's heels. It's funny, y'all accuse me of like, Yvette, she just wants to be like white people and beg white people. No, I think you do. You do. You wearing white daddy's clothes right now and trying them on and thinking you're going to be that one day. You could be the Black Bill Gates in the making. Ain't that what Beyonce said? Who sounds like what? Who sounds like what? Okay? So your kids are not doing as well as their parents. That's what we're looking at. That's not good enough. Don't blame the kids. It's not your kids. It's all black kids. And you can't listen to black boomers. They don't know. I told you they got all the wrong maps and giving them to you. That stuff is outdated. Just say it is what it is. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But you got to stop dressing up in these clothes. And you got to stop doing this childlike stuff. Saying, I'm going to be when I grow up. You grown talking about what you going to be when you grow up. You can work hard. And you should work hard. You should work hard and do your best, but don't let this striving take you away from your family, and don't let this striving having you live somewhere in your head. It doesn't make any sense. You're responding to imagination and propaganda and calling it hope. That's not hope. Don't even know how many, okay, I've heard some people say, well, Yvette, there are things I can do to get rich. There are things I can do to get rich. I can, I may not always agree with Dr. Boyce Watkins, but he said that you can invest in stock market, right? What I'm telling you is that y'all don't even know how many black households there are. Know how many black house people, how many black people there are. You don't even know the data of none of that stuff. And you're gonna invest in a financial instrument? You've got to first know how to count. Before you go and do that stuff, you got to know how to count. You don't know how to count. You don't know any of the data. You're going to try to go do that. You better learn this stuff first. You better get this down first. You better learn the numbers first. How you going to go do that in a market where you're supposed to be learning, price to earnings, ratio. You're supposed to be learning all that PE ratio and all that stuff, and you can't count. And you tell me that you're going to go outdo white people over there, and you can't count. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And you don't realize that I'm not the one who's making you not hopeful or depressed. You don't realize that that's the facts. That your dream never was a dream. Why don't you have a dream about sitting down with your kid and reading a bedtime story? Why don't you have a dream about cooking a meal that really tastes great for you and your family? Why don't you have a dream about, taking your kid outside and throwing a ball around? So these people don't grow up, say, I never really spent no quality time with my mama or daddy. They was always frustrated. They was always annoyed. They didn't want to be bothered. Why don't you have that dream? What's wrong with that? I don't sit here every day and you see, I take my own medicine. This is the medicine. I take my own medicine though. I don't come in here and tell Irony, you know what? Me and you gonna be the next MSNBC.
No.
Did I ever say that to you?
No.
Never said that.
No.
I ain't never said that to him because that's stupid.
No.
It's stupid. I understand where we are, but I can do what I can from where I am. I can do what I can from where I am, no. From right here on YouTube, I'm gonna take what I can and do what I can with it. But I don't sit around talking about, once we become CNN, I don't sit around and do that because I know that would mean I'm mentally ill. I hope we grow. Even with my newsletter, I charge 50 cents per newsletter, which is $2 a month. I don't charge y'all $20 for a newsletter because I know that's a bad price point for people who have what we have. These are just the numbers. 7 out of 10, middle class black families are going to fall into poverty. That's the data. That's downwardly mobile. That's what we're looking at. We got to get our politics together. Our local politics and our national politics. That's how the Trump people did it. Yeah. How you think Trump got them people on? How you think they got Trump? I saw an article today. I swear to God, I saw an article today where it said there was an article where Hillary Clinton was talking about she didn't even think about Trump no more because she was so far ahead in the polls. That's what they were reporting that she said. And then he's president. They don't care. They get their politics together. They understand my life isn't good. I got to get my politics right. I got to put somebody in the White House who's going to care about me. I got to push these people. And you see them falling away from Trump a little bit, at least, because of health care. Right? They move with the policies. It's not all racism. Yeah, I'm sure some of that's in there, but you can't say these people are all racist when they're moving. You can't say that. And I don't want to... the whole I'm just passing through thing. Your solution is to just be where you are. And I think that's a problem. I think I think you should be the best parent, be the best brother, be the best sister, be the best uncle, be the best daughter, be the best whatever that you can be. You're not on this planet to spend every moment thinking about some future moment. That's not what you're here for. There are things that we can do right now to have a better black politics. There's a school board meeting you probably missed. And you got a kid in that. You got a kid there. You don't know what they talk about. But you're telling yourself, we're not going to be in this neighborhood long. That's what you're telling yourself. We're not going to be here long, so what's the point? And I want to say, that's the data. but it's not necessarily the destiny. We can get politics right? We can play hardball, and we can demand anyone who is supposed to represent us be serious about getting money into black people's pockets. That's something that we can do. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that at all. But what I'm telling you that is possible. But in order for it to happen, you got to stop telling me that, everything's going to turn out right because you believe, or because you got a vision board, or because you went to church on Sunday. I'm not saying don't go to church. Church can do a lot of good stuff. But I'm just saying you can't be that way. Dr. Martin Luther King was a preacher, but he was still out there trying to do politics, wasn't he? You can't do it that way. You got to hope. If you want to have faith, you got to have faith that when I'm out here doing these politics, I hope I don't get my head bashed in. You don't just like, I don't need politics. All right? That's not the way it works. And I'm going to lead up to another clip. I think this is clip number 3. Well, I want to really show you the problem with hope. We hoped.
This one?
Nuh-uh.
Okay.
We hoped a while back. And it didn't turn out right for us. So if you want to really, really, really know why we shouldn't hope anymore and depend on hope, this is it. That's it. That's your reason. I don't need a better reason than that. I don't need a better reason than this. I don't need a better reason. Look at him. That was our hope. Didn't we?
He did very well for himself selling hope.
Yeah.
He did very well. You see pictures of him and the family out there on a vacation now. Brock's looking good. Looks like he got some sun.
He
looked happy. He looked happy. He sold hope and did very well for himself. Did very well for his family selling hope.
Yeah.
A lot of people sell hope and do very well for themselves. Not so good for the black community. But they find a way to do well for themselves.
No, they find a way to get themselves together. They find a way to get themselves together because they know
There's another person who sold hope.
Oh, Oprah sold hope this year. Oprah got paid to sell black people vision boards instead of hardball politics. When you heard Oprah talk about get involved in politics and do that kind of stuff, Oprah said at one point she didn't even understand the black kids who were involved in the Black Panther movement or something like that. She said she was in her whole project was to get black people thinking about and wishing and saying, if I try hard, I can be just like Oprah. That's why she got chose. She's not self-made. Oprah got chose. And you don't know why you sitting around wanting to be like Oprah. You don't know what she had to go through. You don't know what she had to kiss, lick, whatever. You don't know what she had to go through. You just know what she tells you. And you should always understand that. You should always understand that you only know what somebody tells you. You don't know the real deal. You know what she told you. All she told you is, I work hard. I did this, and you can do it too. Yeah, that's just selling me a dream. And that's not even true. I know enough to know that story she's selling ain't true. I just worked hard and I'm a little girl from wherever. You're not going to lie to me. I know that's not true. Politics is saying you need to show me that these contracts are going to be to black businesses. You need to show me the receipts to Wells Fargo, that Wells Fargo is lending to black businesses. We have to audit the banks. That's what black politics is.
It's not just voting. Oprah will tell you just voting, but that's not a black politics.
And I don't know. I don't know whether Oprah knows better or whether she got screwed. You got to stop thinking that all these black people who were in positions of power are somehow
smart,
bright, and understand politics. Says who? I've never heard it. I've never seen it. So, I just had to kind of get that off my chest. I don't think life exists in some future moment. And I have one other clip that I really want to show because it kind of, is a clip that you wouldn't expect to see on this show because it's kind of a spiritual clip, but it's not religious. But it made me think about us in terms of how we deal with illusion and how people use our illusions against us, right? So we have these beliefs, And what people do is almost like they just go in our head and tweak them to benefit them, right? So we want to make it. So we're going to go out and buy this stuff, and we're going to do this stuff. Okay, you're going to make this person rich. And it won't be anybody in your community that you're making rich. You're going to make these other people rich so that you can feel good about yourself, or that you can feel empowered, or that you can feel like, girl, you're doing it. Oh man, that's smooth. I like that. That's what you're going to do. That's what we do. And we take attention away from other people in our lives. So we can't be good people to other people. We can't be good people to the people actually in our lives because we're thinking some future moment. And eventually we crack up. And so we have enormous rates of alcoholism and stuff and drug addiction and stuff like that because we're cracking up. Because it didn't work. You get to 45 and realize it didn't work. But it ain't gotta work. You did the best you could, right? And I mean, if you actually like pay attention to this, it can actually give you some peace. Work as hard as you can, but if it doesn't work out, you didn't do that. Get involved in politics. We can get involved in politics. Hopefully we get something out of it, and we push. And I think you will, because Democrats still need us. Democrats still need us. So I think we have a good chance of getting something out of it. But you're gonna lose some too. You're gonna lose some too. So I think going forward, that's something that we have to pay attention to. Did you find that quote?
Yeah, I got the clip. The clip of the quote.
The quote first.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on.
So
give me a second.
I think that's something that we have to. I don't see any other way around it, right? I don't see any other way around dealing what we have to deal with. Life doesn't exist off into the future. Okay. And I think I don't know if you all are familiar, but there was a guy, spiritual guy, and you can find him on YouTube. His name was Alan Watson. When I saw this quote, it made me think. It made me think about us.
I'm ready.
I'll say so send it on in. It made me think about us. And it basically says people can't be talked out of illusions. If a person believes that the earth is flat, you can't talk him out of it. He knows it is flat. He'll go down to the window and see that it's obvious. It looks flat. So the only way to convince him that it isn't is to say, well, let's go and find the edge. We still looking for the edge. We still walking around looking for the edge, and we don't understand what life is right now. That's an illusion. You can't tell. I have had so many conversations in the comments and be talking to people and be like, no, it's this. And they be like, well, Yvette, I know people. Yvette, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to tell you except to go with you. And so me on this show right now is walking the edge with you. That's what I'm doing. That's just kind of what I'm doing right now. Let me just take a quick break while I'm talking, give myself a break. And if you're watching this, if you're watching on Facebook, just take the time and share the video. If you're watching on YouTube, share it too, tweet it, do what you do, subscribe. Go to donatebrown.com to donate. Go to breakingbrown.com to subscribe to the newsletter. I'm trying to build that. I put the links in from the data from the week before. So I'm trying to build that and put more stuff in it. But I have 2 newsletters out already. So you can go to breakingbrown.com for that. And you can also make a donation there as well, so that we can keep this going. But I think next, I want to show a clip, and this was Yvette's depressing me, but I want to show you this clip, and I want you to hear what this woman says about hope, and I want to come back and say a few words about it. Then we'll go to the phones.
They estimate that you have a life expectancy of less than 6 months. It's all about how I spend my time now. Volunteering takes away all of the mystery about dying. It is a physical process. It's absolutely no different from eating a meal and then having a bowel movement. It's just another thing that happens. Have you ever been in one of those restaurants where they have a railroad train? It goes around and delivers your hamburger or your sushi or whatever it is, okay? The train is coming around, and some days I'm going to get a hamburger, which I love, and some days I'm just going to get death. Everybody's got the same railroad train. We are not used to dealing with death in a matter-of-fact way. We're used to pushing it away all the time. Oh, you're not dying, which happens all the time, every day, at least once. Oh, they'll discover something. Gotta have hope. this is crap. This is all crap. I have a little card on my front door, which I read before going out, which says, I fear nothing, I hope for nothing, I am free. I've talked to people who say they feel sorry for me, not having any hope. I said, hope is a thief. You know, I am living today as fully as I am able. I am resting up for a fabulous dinner party tonight. All right, I'm in hospice. I'm on oxygen. I'm going to take my oxygen with me. And I don't know if I'll be able to last the whole dinner party, but that's what I am doing to the maximum degree that I'm able. And I suppose I could say I hope the food will be good, but I know the food will be good. It doesn't matter. The wine will be good. The conversation will be good. I know that already. I hope for nothing. I'm dealing with each and every moment as it comes along to the maximum degree that I can. And that makes me happy. I'm a happy woman.
And we're back.
I know what y'all thinking. Yvette done gave me a dying woman. I know what you're thinking, but it's important. I want you to focus on one thing she said. Hope is a thief. Now, she's passed away. She's since passed away. But she could have been sitting up there. Then you hear her say she was getting ready to go out. She's living her life. She could have been sitting there and say, Lord, please save me. I don't want to die. Oh, Lord, I'm just praying I'm in here. No. Live your life. Live in this moment. Right? I'm not trying to be preaching spiritual, but live your life. And what your life involves is politics. You have to be in it. You can't be sitting here talking about, I know I'm going to live. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to worry about living my life to the fullest because I'm going to live 15 more years. These doctors don't know what they talk about. No. You gotta live.
Can I say something real quickly about that? I have a good friend who worked with death row inmates. Worked with death row inmates. And she said what broke her heart more than anything is that these guys were sure the system was going to work for them. And that they weren't going to get killed.
And they black. And
they're black. Yeah, no, she's black and they're black and they had all this hope. They just know that they had faith in the system. The jury, like the appellate system, that it was going to work for them. And she's like, no, they ended up killed.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for faith. Like black people, we don't need more faith in that kind of stuff. We need hard-nosed politics. We need the kind of hard-nosed politics that you saw white people had when they got Trump. They got their guy. They didn't get hopeful. They got angry. And then they got their guy. They might even get their wall. Who knows? But they got their guy, and they weren't going to listen for anyone who told them nothing except like who's going to speak to their anger and tell them that they were going to get jobs. We could have gotten our guy. We need to create our guy at the local level, at the state level, and then maybe at the national level. But we need the kind of politics that says, look, don't even ask me to vote. How dare you ask me to vote for you if you're not going to audit Chase and make sure Chase is lending money to black-owned businesses? How dare you ask me? How dare you come into my church, come into my club, come into my space and ask for my vote unless you got a plan telling me how you're going to get black home ownership up. Get out of my face.
Yeah, and you can leave.
Just go. You tell that to enough Democrats, we'll get the politics we need. But we need that kind of anger and that kind of unforgivingness. You got to get these white, pearl-clutching liberals scared of you. We can't talk to them unless we got a black economic plan. They're not going to hear about us. They know they're going to ask for it. And we need them thinking like that. We need white liberals thinking like that. And we need a black politics that advances that in every moment. Politicians have to know they can't go anywhere near black people without having an answer about how we're going to get black home ownership up.
No, we won't be bothered.
We don't want to be bothered. And we got to let it be known that we're going to ask you that question every time. And if you don't have an answer to that question, you better go on or we're going to get a brick through your door or something. I don't know. But we need a hard-nosed politics that's not afraid to advocate for money in black people's pockets, for contracts in black businesses, and for a robust
jobs. Welfare system too. This is a boom and bust system. That's what capitalism is.
America's got money. America's got money, and America owes us money because for generations we were watching your damn kids, and picking your cotton. Like we were watching your kids and cleaning your house and picking your cotton, and like while you were off making the money that you then bequeath to your kids. So like black people, we need a black politics that asks for our due and will not be satisfied for anything else. We know it works.
And this is the one thing they don't want.
That's
like, I mean, this is the one thing they don't want.
Michelle Obama doesn't want that. Oprah doesn't want that.
No.
Donna Brazile doesn't want that.
No.
Make her uncomfortable.
As a matter of fact, the reason they're there is so we don't have a black politics. That's the reason they're there. It's so we'll get so caught up in seeing black people in the White House and seeing black people in high places that we'll forget what politics is. And that's kind of why I'm here, to remind you. This is what politics looks like. And we have no reason. That's why they got Steve Harvey telling you stupid stuff about, taking opportunity is like a parachute and you jump down. And do y'all remember that video? There's another video with Tyler Perry, plant seeds. Yeah, that's great. But we got a lot of people that plant a lot of seeds that never ever bore any fruit. They never bear any fruit. You know why? Because the ground wasn't right. We can't even look at the ground. I've had older black men in my family who can look at dirt and be like, that dirt ain't right. And it ain't gonna grow nothing. Too much red clay, too much this, too much that. Soil erosion, whatever. We can't even look at the dirt and see that the dirt not right. That's how we are. So we plant stuff in there and then blame ourselves when it don't grow. Or say we need to buy more and we can put more. And then the carrot come out all droopy and lopsided, and we think it's our fault because we not good gardeners. Well, we not the best gardeners maybe sometimes, but nah, that ain't right. The soil ain't right. And the soil ain't right because America ain't right. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing you did wrong or anything I did wrong. The soil ain't right. They don't put salt in our soil, and so it won't bear fruit. And we keep thinking we making problems, and we can't even look at it and be like, this soil is jacked up. Why you give me jacked up soil? We're like, no, if you just work harder, we can get the soil right. No. We all talk about the Darity research here time and time again about how it's not how hard you work. It's not how well you went to college. None of that stuff closes the wealth gap. The soil ain't right. And we need to start telling people. When people start talking to us about their agenda, you need to say, listen, black women getting evicted in like disproportionate numbers. 40% of black men who are young, ages like 18 to 34, don't have a job. You need to just start telling them that. I don't care about what you're talking about until you fix that. I don't care. You need to start looking at people like they look at us. People don't see us when we hurt. We've been hurt since we got here. People don't look at us. Every now and again we get something, but people don't look at us. We look at everybody else. Well, Yvette, what about this group? Well, Yvette, what about this group? Yvette, that's so mean. Yvette, you so unkind. Who cares?
They don't.
They don't care.
You think the LGBT community cares about? No.
Nobody give a damn. Like, you think about that. How are black people doing today? No, nobody care. But you the most caringest people. Just like unrestrained compassion for everybody. Why? Capitalism is a jungle. What are you doing?
No. They could come on our team if they can get on solidarity with us, and we might care about what they're doing once they sign on to like a black economic agenda.
I need contracts. I need the leader of your group to sign a contract, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for you. What my black group is gonna do for you. And what your group is gonna do for us? It's a contract. I'm not gonna be like, well, this is just the right thing to do, so we should just be on board. Who cares?
No,
you can't. This like unrestrained morality is gonna kill us. You can't be moral in the jungle. Have you ever seen those National Geographic videos where a tiger runs after what's those things they run after? Gazelle, and just grabbing by the ass. You ever seen one of those and the gazelle is just crying and in pain and the tiger don't care? The tiger's just eating him, and it gets to a point where like you can't even look at it. You're like, oh my God, he's torturing it. The thing is being tortured before it dies. This is so awful.
We're the gazelle. We're the gazelle in that.
We're the gazelle, but we the gazelle that run up.
Say, well, tigers got to eat too.
Yeah, be like, tigers got to eat too, and all lives matter. And we run up and be like, well, how can we help you today? And then they just bite our neck, and we be like, I was trying to help. Well, yeah, but you don't help in the jungle. That's not how it works. If this was a different type of setup, it would be different. But this is capitalism, and capitalism is the jungle. I would prefer it be different. I would prefer a much more social democracy or something like you see in France or Norway where you can't fall so low. But that's not what America is.
No, and if we want to make it that way, we need to negotiate we need to negotiate that fate.
Yes.
We need to
but
negotiate.
You can't have that fate
without negotiating it.
Without black politics.
Right.
And all this other stuff about Oprah we've been talking about and all these other people, they neutralize black politics. We're just like little kids now. We don't even matter. Hillary went to some churches and talked to some black people, and we were just like, oh, Miss Hillary was here.
Asking about hot sauce. That's not a black politics.
That's not black politics. I don't care what you eat. I don't even care if you eat at all, Hillary. I don't care.
I don't care.
That's not a question I'm going to ever ask you what you eat. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care if you like hot sauce.
I don't care if you're anorexic. What are you going to do for black people?
Yeah, I don't care if you're anorexic. Just don't throw up in my office. But what are you going to do for black people? I don't care about none of that cultural stuff. You know, Bill Clinton did that stuff. Donna Brazile wrote in a book. And I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head. I got it on my bookshelf. But she wrote there was a great book about black people. You got to find the book. I'll put it in this newsletter. You got to find the book. It was about black people talking about how wonderful Bill Clinton was, right? And she talks about how when she was behind him in the line, when she was eating with him somewhere, he had black-eyed peas. Ooh, a white man eating black-eyed peas. That was enough. It was cultural identification.
Not contracts, not jobs, not clean water.
No, black-eyed peas.
Black-eyed peas.
That was her litmus test.
That's a failure of black politics.
Yeah, that's a failure of Donna Brazile, too.
That's a failure
of Donna Brazile. Black-eyed peas. You got black people walking around saying somebody ate black-eyed peas. That's how we know he liked us. He ate black-eyed peas, and that's our food. This cultural stuff is just a substitution for not
Everybody else is getting
power.
Money.
Everybody else is getting money, and we like, ooh, they like black-eyed peas like me, and we don't understand how everybody else is walking away with the check. Everybody else is walking away with the money, and we got nothing. Yeah, because we care about what you eat. I don't care about what you eat. You can eat kale for the rest of your life. I don't care. I just want to know, what are we getting? What are we going to get in our pockets as a black community? As descendants of slaves, African Americans, what are we going to get? I don't care what you eat. I don't care what you eat. I don't care if you eat mayonnaise and banana sandwiches. Those are quite delicious. But I don't care what you eat. I don't care. I just want to know about the policy and how the policy affects my community. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Because it's not like money doesn't pass hands in Washington. Have you seen these budgets? You know what happens with contracts?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens? If we get a Democrat to say, we're going to give 15% of all federal contracts to HBCUs that are eligible, that HBCUs are eligible to. You know how much money that would be?
Yeah,
you know how much that would shore up?
Yeah, or businesses. We're going to have, I would start about 5 businesses. I don't even want to be an expert. I'm just going to start about 5. This is what white people do.
Yeah.
They just start, but they don't be no expert. Well, this is like a niche in the market. I'm going to start it too. I'm going to start one too.
Yeah, but we need a politics that'll fight for us getting that contracts, and then a politics that'll put pressure on private entities to hire and retain and subcontract with black companies. We need a politics that'll say, look, Boeing, look, McDonnell Douglas, we're going to not give you that contract unless you can show me like 50 black engineers that you're going to hire.
Yeah.
And if you can't find 50 black engineers, you better start training them. Because we're not going to give you that contract.
We're not going to give you that contract. Make it happen.
Make it happen. And you know what? If you can build a jet plane, you could train 50 black engineers.
You sure can.
Don't tell me, Boeing, you can't find them.
You saw how much Trump increased You saw how much he increased the expenditures to the defense. Like it's about 50%.
Yeah, and that's like
and none of that money is the problem with that is that none of that money is us. We're not in defense contracting. We're not in really much government contracting, but we certainly in the defense. That's old white.
Some black people in California.
That's old white boy money.
Yeah.
That's old white boy money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And so unless we force them, and look, this is why we need a CBC. I'm going to put the camera on me for a second. This is why we need a CBC that actually deals with Trump. Because if you know that all of that money is going to defense contractors, if you have a Congressional Black Caucus that says, look, all this money is going to go to defense contractors, at least make sure these defense contractors are subcontracting with black-owned businesses. That would be a politics that could get us through the next 4 years until we get our guy in. That would be a negotiating that I want our CBC to do. If you know that this budget's going through, and once this budget goes through, if you know it goes through, then at least get black people to be subcontractors. Look, and I've said it before, I have complicated feelings about the wall. I don't think it's necessary. But if a wall is going to be built, and if a few $1 billion are going to be put to building it, I want black people being paid good wages building it. And that's what I want my politicians to be negotiating for.
Yeah, and I want not only that. I want. You know, like you said, I want black money, but I want black workers. I want all of that, and I want good wages. I don't want to be building no wall like, oh, the inmates gonna build a wall.
No.
No, the only way I want inmates building the walls if you're gonna pay them to and put in a fund so they can help their kids do whatever they gotta do. Ain't nobody finna. No, that ain't what we finna do. So the video got interrupted.
What?
Looks like it. That happened. Did it?
No.
Mine did, and then it stopped and then it started again.
Okay, I'm still good. I'm still good.
So are you ready to go to the calls?
Yeah. Give me a second. First of all, black politics is the message of the show. That's what we do here. Black politics. Yep. We do black politics here, and if you want to see us do a little bit more robust, maybe get some help over the summer. If you're watching right now on YouTube, there's a super chat button. You see the chat screen that's kind of strolling, and then the super chat button is the $sign. So click on that $sign, kick in a few bucks. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then also go to breakingbrown.com, sign up for the newsletter, because all of the data that we put in that we're talking about at this show will be in the newsletter, and you'll be able to go back and check our receipts because we're pretty thorough with what we say. And also, if you want to give even more, go to the website, www.breakingbrown.com, and sign up for a monthly donation. You can go to the real page, and on the right panel will be a place you can sign up for a monthly donation. All right, thanks.
I just want to say I disagree with Army on the wall. I want
That's fine.
Like, I'm okay with a wall or just some structures where it's real. A structure.
Not a fence.
Yeah, it's just two different countries. I'm not saying that, like, different countries can sometimes have walls. You know, it's just, I'm just not necessarily opposed to the wall. Now, if you want me to be opposed to the wall, you're going to have to come and tell me what's in it for me and the black community and descendants of slaves in order to be opposed to a wall. But right now, I don't see any political reason for me to be opposed to a wall. I think a wall might be good. I saw a video, people just kind of hopping over the little thing they got down there. So I don't think you should be able to just hop over like you hop over a little pond. I think, countries have borders. That's what countries are. I think some people don't want countries to be countries anymore. And that may be a problem. I like for countries to be countries because I'm a citizen of a country that's, and I just kind of want countries to be countries. And I have a claim to lay, and I'm just not an open borders advocate. That's just me. I'm not saying you can't disagree. I'm just telling you where I come from. I'm not in favor of open borders. I'm just not. I think countries have to be countries, and a country is a country without a border. I know people say all this stuff about, these are just imaginary boundaries. Ain't nothing imaginary about it.
Because you can buy land in Texas, but you can't buy land in Mexico.
No. You can't even become a citizen of Mexico. Like, go try to become a citizen of Mexico. Don't get me started. Go try to become a citizen of Mexico right now and see what happens. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You can't even do business there like that. None of that. You can't. There's nothing you can do there. So I want to be like Mexico. The same thing. Same rules apply. I don't see how that's unfair. So I'm just putting it out there for everybody, and it's fine. I'm okay with disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Y'all gotta get over this thing of where, like, if I disagree, I just want to stab you. Well, I want to Yvette make me sick. Or he get on my. Good God, because you disagree, like, grow up, please. Quick and in a hurry. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do something that's Hold on.
Uh-oh, what Army?
I want some new blood on the call lines. So I'm
Army finna do something. You don't see no new calls on the call line?
Well, I haven't put the number up, but yet the calls are full. So
you should put the number up early, because that means only the people who have the number can call. So you gotta start putting the number up early.
All right.
But we might not have nobody if you kill everybody. Because I already know what you're trying to do. Y'all got to get Quicksilver Army on here.
All right, I've cleared the line, so go ahead and call.
Oh, my God. I haven't hung up on everybody. Listen, I want you to send your hate mail. His name is Army Osei Frimpong. He's on Facebook. Do not send your hate mail to me. I'm not the engineer. I'm only the person talking. Do not send your hate mail to me.
All right, first call.
Okay, let's take this call.
You got a green line?
Yep.
All right, you're on.
Hello?
Hello. Oh, hey, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, my God. Listen, I want you to send your hate mail.
Turn off your laptop. Hello? Turn off your
Hi.
mute your
I'm
laptop.
calling from California.
How you
and
doing?
I guess I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the live feed. But anyway, I'm calling from California, and I want to say just a few quick things. Number one, we have our guy in the office right now. Now, what we need to do as a group is to do what all the other groups do. You are the one that brought up the meeting of the Congressional Black Caucus, which is what I call them caucus because they're a dead body.
Ooh.
And you brought them up last week. Mm-hmm. And what we needed to do was to have an action alert to call all the members of the Black Caucus, email them, tweet them, et cetera, and tell them what we wanted them to say to President Trump before the meeting happened. We needed to control how they represent us rather than letting them kind of go off the list and we just sit on the sideline hoping that they will represent us when we've known for 40 years that they don't. Yeah. As you correctly pointed out in one of your earlier shows, the vice president, not the president, but the vice president met with the Latino coalition, and most of that is a Mexican platform, and yet they were ready to give to the vice president, not even the president, what it was, the demands that they wanted for their community. And so I'm saying that we need to develop a platform where, as you have said many times, we're not connected to the person in the office. We're connected to what they can or cannot do for us. There will never again be an opportunity where somebody in the White House is asking Black folks, what can I do for you? Our guy is already in the White House. You may not like his personality. You may not like what some of the things he does. I'm for the wall. Absolutely for the wall. I'm for Donald Trump. I voted for him. I stay with Donald Trump. But we need to utilize these opportunities better. The second thing that I want to say is that we need to look around us and understand that this country is actually on its way out. The new world order is going to be implemented within our lifetime. And I know that a lot of people don't want to hear about God and all that kind of stuff. But to my way of teaching, and I'm launching a website that addresses these very issues, the first order of business is to get saved. That's the first order of business, get saved and stay saved. And then move politically from the understanding that we're probably not going to get what we want, but it's important to go for it. Why? Because it exposes the hypocrisy of all these other groups. So those are the two things that I want to say. It's not a hopeless situation. It's a situation in which we have put our eyes on man, expecting him to give to us our due when we're dealing with unrighteous, ungodly folks. And so as long as we keep our eye on them, expecting them to do something that they do not have the spiritual or even natural maturity to do, we're going to be disappointed. But if we put our eyes on God and we are saved, and then we execute our politics from the position of being as wise as a serpent, we've already got the gentle as a dove part down. As a serpent, we'll be good to go.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. The only thing,
right, thank you.
The only thing I'll say, I agree there should be an action alert. I agree that there should definitely be an action alert. There has to be a way for us to kind of to talk, to get to the Congressional Black Caucus without them brokering on our behalf, without really being worried about our issues or going in there and posturing. So I certainly, absolutely do agree with that part of it. I can't get with the other part of it though. I just can't. I just you didn't hear that. It was a lot of religious stuff. So I mean I'm not saying that you can't be religious. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that I can't. That's just I don't know. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, this is Robin calling from Texas.
Hey, Robin.
And I've called in this show before, and And I've been listening to you and Ani, okay?
Okay.
And y'all make plenty of sense, okay?
Okay.
But one thing that we're not discussing, which is really, really, really important, because we're begging, we're pleading, we're doing everything. We're begging to not be shot and killed, okay? We're begging to be treated like humans. One thing we haven't asked for is, where is the money?
Yes.
With all the corruption and fraud going on, okay? Where is the money that has been coming to the community had in the past? Where is that money?
A few things, right?
Why are these elected officials millionaires now, okay? And why is it that, I live in Texas, okay? And they're building everywhere else. They're building in the white community. They got nice freeways. They're building nice colleges, like Exxon has a campus. And they have diverted our money to their neighborhoods and projects, okay? Just today, a school board voted to give an Exxon company $11 billion to build some kind of chemical company.
What?
$11 billion. Yes, ma'am. But what I'm saying is, they're diverting all the money that is supposed to be going to different communities, schools, everybody. They have done the Robin Hood, and what they're doing is they are building their own development in white neighborhoods, okay? And in those white neighborhoods, there is no transportation, okay?
No.
There is you have to have a car to drive 40 miles. There is no bus that goes out there. They even have a campus apartment living houses that they built in that area. And you want to know who lives there?
Who?
Yes, it's not us. But that is what they're doing all over Texas. And they are purposely letting the black and brown communities rot. They're letting them rot. But theirs looks nice, and they're building.
Yeah.
I agree. And I
agree.
want to know, why is it that they're getting rich? I mean, millionaires, while they're in office.
Yeah, because we let it. Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you for calling in. No, I think she's right. Like, what they're doing is they're diverting cash. And like on a national level, that's kind of what Iraq was. Like, Iraq was just a grab. It was a grab. It was a grab for corporations. And you have defense contractors and everybody who got paid off of that. You had mercenaries in Iraq who got paid off of that, mercenary companies, all those people. And they divert that, and then they tell you, well, we don't have the money. Well, you don't have the money because you diverted that money away from me. And you put it in other areas. And as black people, we have bought into this kind of do-for-self stuff. So we be like, well, we don't need the white man anyway. No, the white man is the government. That's not the white man.
Those contracts were a lot of money. Those are like those $20,000 a month to drive a truck. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you acting like we asking white Santa Claus. No, most of you and us and all, we pay taxes. Like, this is not the white man. This is the government.
Yeah.
And everybody's sucking at that teat. Like, it's not like it's just us. Like, you gonna say, like, we got to do for self. No, you got to push these people. The government has never done anything for black people without being pushed to do it. It's just never happened.
Right.
Anytime they've ever done anything for us, it's because we demanded it and we pushed and we got in the street and got beat and hurt and clubbed. Like, it's always been us pushing. They've never just said, okay, it's fair, black people, we're gonna give you something. No, we've always had to do that.
Look, a black politics that works is that we have black people in this nation that anytime they drive by a new building that's being built.
Yeah, who that?
They look to see who's standing around, who's the managers, who's operating the machines. If those aren't black people, that means you need to get your black politics right. And what we need as a black political sensibility is black people, every time they walk by a contract, every time they walk by a building that's being erected, you want to see black people like on the job there. And you want to see black people like giving orders to the people who are on the job. That's when you know you got your politics right. Because a lot of money.
I did a research project looking for where defense contract money went in the U.S. Russia, India, etc. Yeah, like people researching, like it's not like, man,
Yeah,
like
no,
this
that's a
defense,
lot
like
of money.
this, and that's how you make. That's not how you make multi-millionaires and billionaires. Is with these kinds of contracts. People are living good lives,
Right.
wonderful lives. We don't have any of those contracts, man.
And
Nothing.
that's what
and
we need
that's
a
not
CDC
our
to
fault.
talk.
That's not a thing of not trying hard enough.
Yeah, that's definitely not
You can't
trying
try
hard enough.
to be a defense contractor. That's not how that works.
No. So yeah, black politics, and I do think right now we have people thinking when they think of black politics, all they can think about is the spectacle of Black Death, and that's what's frustrating. All they can think about is black kids getting shot in the streets.
Yeah, that's why I really stop talking. I used to talk about it, but I stopped talking about it because, it's just you can't talk about anything else when you talk about it.
Right, it becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
Because a black politics that's centered on black life.
Yeah.
Is a black politics that gets money into black people's pockets and gets black people jobs at good wages at $20, $25 an hour. That's a black politics that's working.
Yeah.
So like it's great that I want to get the the incarceration rate down. I want to stop recidivism. I know that starts with getting jobs, with getting the black home ownership up.
Most people who get killed by police are poor.
Right.
I mean,
Alton Sperling, if he'd had a job.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been selling.
Most would have just been going back and forth to a factory.
Right.
Like a lot of these people, so we know what they did in Ferguson in terms of how their court system worked and how they stopped people every few. You know what happened. Right. We know what happens in Wisconsin. So we know what happens. So.
Keep going.
Yep. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello. Oh, great. Hey, look, I enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Most of the commentary. But look here, do black people really want money in our pocket? Is that what we're calling for?
I want money in my pocket. What you mean? Do you ask me if I want money?
I have to be honest.
Let the man talk.
I'm gonna let him talk, but I'm just making sure he asked me if I want money. But go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask you. I was just shocked.
No, I ran about 5 years ago. I ran for politics.
Right.
Okay.
Good for you. Good for you.
The issue was not that black people wanted an economy, not that they wanted their own businesses, but that here in Maryland and elsewhere around the country, but I'm speaking of Maryland, what black folk wanted was for white corporations to come into the community and establish their companies and hire black people and make the black people assistant store managers. Okay?
Jobs.
Nobody was crying, we need more black business. We need to put money in black people's pockets. No, we needed to take our money and put it in the white folk pocket. That's what we were calling for, and that's what we call for today. So when you say to the liberal, you're a liberal Democrat, you got to tell me how you going to make black people employed. How you going to do this for black people? Well, I say to you, first, before you go to your white liberal, you got to go to your black liberal. Because the black liberal guy is your elected official, your black elected official has to be the one to tell them to put any juice behind it. As you see right now, black people, black Congressional caucus don't have a clue. They're meeting with Trump, and they're trying to obfuscate the fact that they don't have any ideas.
Right.
By saying, my constituents called and told me don't meet with Trump because he's a racist. How so? They don't. Obama did not meet with the black Congressional caucus. No. The black in that
for the first
just
year,
for marketing purposes. Yeah. They have no program for y'all, for us.
They're out of ideas.
You're right. The defense, I promise. The defense. How the hell we're not in defense contracting? When 10% supposedly was supposed to go to African American contractors back during the Nixon years. How is it that we're not really into that? And one thing I'm not in here. There's a gentleman here in the D.C. area, in Washington, D.C., speaking of contracting. He was the #1 black contractor, right?
Uh-huh.
I think his name is R.F. Hunt. He bought a big home out in Virginia and everything. Now is going through foreclosure and everything. But read up on him. Okay? Read how silly he is. Okay? And that was your #1. By far, your #1 black contractor. And he sold his businesses to the white boys. But let's read on here and understand where he was coming from. And that was your top contractor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We want.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Carla. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna read up on him, but what he's saying is true. Like, that was the best you had, and he messed up.
Yeah, well, white contractors are like idiots.
Yeah, like that was your best black man, and he messed up.
Let's be honest, like anybody who knows white contractors, like these kids, they dropped out of high school, like they just like.
But he's talking about the black guy, like
yeah. I'm just saying that contract. You don't have to be a genius to get these $1 million contracts.
If you're white, you don't.
If you're white, you don't have to be, and apparently if you're black, you don't have to be the greatest.
But he was just one. Like he was just it. Like
so, like let's get some of our mediocre black people some money. Like I'm about that. if that's like if that's.
They mediocre. You can be mediocre and have a good life. I want to be shit.
Yes.
Like, I think what he's saying, like he said, what the white people wanted jobs. I think you want black job, black companies. We don't, like something like 90% of black companies fail. Right. And I think what they were probably asking for was, in terms of white companies coming, was just jobs. Right. So, because most of the money's in white hands, but what we have to try to fight for is for money to be put in black hands.
And also, let's be honest, if you're an assistant manager at one of these stores, after 5 or 10 years, you've gained the expertise. We don't have a lot of expertise. Like, let's just be honest.
We need
let's
more.
Be honest.
We need practice. That's what you need. And we need the opportunity to fail.
Yes.
Like, white people get the opportunity to fail and get up and fail and get up and fail and get up. We need the opportunity to fail too. We don't like your best black person gets one shot to fail, and like they gotta make it. They gotta do good that one time. If Oprah had failed, she got chose. Like I said, she got chose by the white people. But even if she had failed and the ratings didn't do nothing, that would have been it. You get one shot. But you have when you see white millionaires and stuff like that, they fall, get up, fall, get up, fall, get up, fall, get up, and they be like, they be writing books talking about fail again, learn how to fail up. What you mean fail up? Your best black person got one shot. That's not fair. And like, that's our life. Like, I don't know what happens after death, but lights out. Lights out. And this is what you're going to give me? No, I'm going to fight for something bigger than this.
So the Congressional Black Caucus is out of ideas. He is right about that.
Yeah.
You look at John Lewis's face, you can just tell he is just out of ideas.
Well, the civil rights movement, you understand.
He's out of ideas.
You understand. There was the dogs were after me. And I don't mean to make fun of man, but goddamn, hush.
You know who's got ideas? Byron Allen's got ideas.
He don't really got ideas no more. I mean, I don't know if he got ideas no more. He had ideas when he had the suit. I don't know if he got ideas no more. But we got ideas. I got ideas.
Who else got ideas? Antonio Moore's got some ideas.
Got some ideas.
Yvette Carnell, do you have some ideas?
Got some ideas.
You got some ideas. I got some ideas.
I'm not saying Byron don't have ideas. I'm just saying that like he's a businessman. He's running a business. He ain't got time to keep playing this game. He ain't got time to keep being in politics. He has his own shit going on. We got ideas.
So if you tell me that, like, well, we just don't know what to ask for. Yes, we do know what to ask for. Actually, you audit banks to make sure they're lending money to black businesses because a lot of them aren't. You audit the large universities, hospitals, all the large employers in your area to make sure that they're hiring black people and then hiring them at good wages and giving them jobs where they can be promoted. All the big employers, and you can use that with political power that can call for the audit. Also, you make sure contracts, a certain number, go to black-owned businesses. Mm-hmm. You make sure all media budgets
include black-owned business. So like there are strategies to divert money into black-owned businesses. You give me a news studio, I'll take over the world.
Yeah.
You give me a news studio,
I suspect that if Yvette gets a meeting with Omarosa, she's not going to run out of things to say.
I want a media budget. I'm not leaving here until I get a media budget.
Go Army, go Navy.
Political education. That's what you're giving. That's what we're talking about. People who can talk about these issues. Hell, we could have people like we talk about saying that. We could have people like that on. We could have so many black people who know stuff just on and talking about issues day in and day out. You're talking about education. We could educate ourselves in a way that matters to black people. Oh my God, I get happy just thinking about that.
So give Yvette some money.
Yeah, man, give me some money. Give me, everybody, Antonio, we all have money. I'm not a selfish person. When I get put on, I want my community to get put on. I don't want to just be somewhere sitting by myself like, oh, this is nice. No, that ain't the way I do. I'm not these people.
If we had a channel where Antonio had his own show too, that'd be
great. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. We could do everybody. So yeah, let's go to the next call.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Oh, hi, Yvette.
Yes.
Oh, okay, you can hear me. All right, first time caller. I'm so excited. I've been trying for months to get through. I'm from North New Jersey. My name is Amina.
Hey, Amina.
And yes, we are one of those cities with the lead in the water. It's a delay, so I'm sorry if I keep pausing. I'm calling because I'm probably off topic. Have you ever thought about writing a book or creating an app for people who are politically ignorant, like myself? To be honest with you, I never got into politics until my boyfriend came home and showed me a video, and I've been hooked ever since. And I was wondering, have you ever thought of creating an app or writing a book where people like myself can, have a political 101 book for dummies or something? Like, have you ever considered that?
I mean, I have an idea for a book, but it's going to be a little bit more complicated than 101. So I have an idea for a book. I've thought about doing an app, but the app will require a lot more work and time than I have right now if I can't hire anybody. And I'm really not the kind of person that wants to outsource to people, from like other countries and stuff like that. I would really want to be able to kind of like pay my people to do it. And I'm not in a position to do that just yet.
I just want to say, if you ever decide to do like a city tour or, come to a certain city, please come to Jersey. Okay. I live amongst the ratchet. We are all ignorant as far as this concerned. We had lead in our water for 10 years, so they claim, and like a lot of people really didn't know where to turn or where to go. I'm not going to say that nobody stood up and spoke about it, but it was like a lot of people didn't know who to talk to or who to reach out to, or
we can help you with
or what to say or how to carry on that conversation. So if you ever decide to do a tour in Newark, we got a whole bunch of colleges out here. Pick one. We'd love to have you.
Thank you. If I get to do it too, I'm going to come to Newark, and you better show me around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. But no, I do have a book idea that I've been toying around with. And I did think about doing an app. I just want the app to link to the website, and I'm not sure I can like do as many like articles that I want to do. So but that's the idea I'm still playing around with. But it's an idea. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate that. And I don't got no problem. Like, don't feel bad like I'm ratchet. No, we all black people. I don't care about that.
Yeah, and like the idea that we need a political education.
And I love your boyfriend for putting you on to this show. Thank him for me.
He cares.
Yeah, he cares. That's a good man right there.
Yeah. He said, Yvette said I'm broke. It's okay, baby.
He said, listen to this. That's what I'm talking about. Shoot.
So, yeah, I mean, political education is what we're about here. So any scheme, like, come up with an idea. Fly Yvette out. She'll lead a workshop. You're not above that, will you?
No, I ain't above that. No, I'm not above that.
All right.
And I ain't gonna have to sleep in no Hyatt either. I don't sleep in no Hyatt. Find me a place. Don't have no bug flying around. I'm fine. Like, they scare me. They shocked me. Like,
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I have a question. How do we get you on like a Tavis Smiley or CNN credentials, being in the White House? How do we do all that to elevate our talk, our speech? How do we get you in those other venues in order to make something happen? I see we have 328 people tonight, but I don't know if $5 a person would help. I'm trying to say, how do we get to that next level?
Well,
in terms of putting you on a bigger platform.
If
everyone tweets Omarosa right now.
But we already did her.
Well, no, we can do it again.
So it's like, but like a platform. Like he's talking about like a platform, like PBS or whatever. I mean, the only thing I can think of, social media is powerful, right? So the only thing I can think of is like, if you want me on Tavis Smiley and everybody has a thing to say, tweet, have Yvette on, right? But outside of that, I don't know how to do that without a connect, right? Most of these people who get on these shows, they didn't get on these shows without, they have a connect.
If we get up to 100, if we get 100,000 subscribers.
So what I'm trying to sit there and say for right now, let's make everybody who listens make that a connect for right now. Let's just try to concentrate on one thing. Tavis Smiley. Let's sit there and say, hey, everybody, bombard Tavis Smiley and say, hey, Yvette Carnell and Aaron need to be on there.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
July.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. What he's saying is like, if y'all want to see me on the show, like he said, Tavis Smiley, he just picked up that show, PBS. If you want to see me and Iron Me on there, then tweet and say, you got to have Yvette on. You got to have this person on to kind of put us in that radar, to kind of put us in that sphere. I got it. I got you.
Start small.
Yeah.
Start small and build our way up. So then we go to the ABC or CNN later on. But for right now, let's just bombard one person. And I picked a person as being Tavis Smiley because he's black as well.
Do it.
But that's the show I'm picking right now.
Log into your Twitter. Everyone who's watching on YouTube right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to see me on there talking or whatever, then just tweet the Tavis Smiley and find him and tweet him, be like, you need to have Yvette and Army on the show. Do it. I'll show up and talk what I'm talking right now.
My last thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Army, you got my number, right?
Who is this?
I'm trying to send y'all stuff. And I want to be able to send you something.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've sent the emails and nothing's coming back to me.
What's your?
Let me send you something that I really want you to.
Okay. Put when you send it. Email editor@breakingbrown.com. But put in the news. Put in the subject line. Conversation from yesterday.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to try. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to try, but I've tried that before. And I'm just not very
You did? I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Internet working, so I'll try it again.
Okay, appreciate it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of emails. Some stuff falls through the cracks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, someone said Tom Jones. Where's Tom Jones? Is he in Atlanta?
I don't know.
He might be. He might.
I don't know what he is.
If he is in Atlanta, he needs to.
Man, Tom Jones ain't trying to do that.
I know he's not, but maybe we can put some juice to him. All right, we'll keep going. Yeah, I know he's not about. No, he's not ready for this.
Yeah. He got a nice house in Florida. He ain't. Black people get money. We don't care.
It's a troublesome Negro, that Yvette Carnell.
Hello.
Hi, Yvette.
Hey, how you doing?
Stacey from Freeport.
Hey, Stacey, how you doing?
Your line is busy, but I see you're growing. You're terrific.
Thank you.
It's terrific. And I love what you're talking about. We need a black politics. Woman, you don't know what you started with me. I live in a village, Freeport, Long Island. We just had another mayoral election. And I don't know if my guy got in, but I think that he would be coming around for a second time. He lost the last election. But I think he's a guy who gets it. I went to an NAACP meeting.
What's his name?
A few weeks ago. What's his name?
Yeah.
Andrew Hardwick.
Okay.
Terrific human being.
Right.
Strong man. Terrific man. But I don't know if he's going to make it this time around. He scared a lot of folks in our little village here.
Did he do it that way?
I went to an NAACP meeting. I don't mind calling it out. It was sad.
Okay.
Because it's not speaking to black politics, and they seem to be afraid.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not that they seem to be afraid, but they are afraid. I think they're afraid of going the way of Acorn or something like that. There just was no discussion about what's going on with black people, except for this statistic. 40% of our incarcerated in Nassau County, New York, are black people. 15% are Latino. What they're concerned about is the fact that there's an ICE trailer at Nassau County right now. So that people who come, they have an ICE trailer. And,
immigration.
Oh,
I was like, what?
Yes, immigration. So what they're doing is they're bringing people in, and if they're undocumented, they're going through immigration right there.
Wow.
Okay.
So, after hearing all of I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays. If I miss a show, then I catch it on just regular YouTube. But hearing it and seeing what's going on in the county in which I live, I really felt kind of bad that I didn't really feel kind of bad about people who may be rounded up by ICE.
You don't have to feel bad about nothing.
You ain't got to feel bad. You ain't got to feel bad. They wouldn't feel bad about you when black man was getting locked up. You ain't got to feel bad. Don't you feel guilty? Don't you feel guilty? Don't you do it? This is the jungle. Don't you do it?
I'm not saying don't pick up a phone call, but
go ahead.
The other thing I want to say is in Freeport, and my parents, my mom worked for this organization Association for the Help of Retarded Children is a big, not-for-profit, but when you look around at their facility, they have a factory, a plant right here in Freeport. They also have a lot of housing, which is some of the most beautiful housing you will find. Granted, some of it is private funds, but a lot of it is public money. They get a lot of Medicaid. You will not find Black people living in these very nice residences. And they just have programs all over the place. I would like to see for our youth, instead of incarcerating our people, have something like an AHRC and and have residences.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Carl. No, you're right. I appreciate you, Carl. But you're right. Listen, and she's right. Like, it's almost as if. Well, I don't know what I mean almost, but it's almost as if like they have ways of diverting us from getting access to this stuff. Right. Like when the money does come through, like somehow we never get it. And I'm not trying to tell, and even what I said about ICE, I'm not trying to say, oh, Yvette said deport people. I'm just saying like, you have to be empathetic towards stuff that happens to us, and we have to make deals. Like it's not a case of, we're always empathetic people, but then y'all just don't care. No, I'm not. Like I said, this is the jungle. I didn't make it the jungle. I didn't create the jungle. I didn't create this capitalist jungle that we live in. It just is what it is.
And you're not trying to be the gazelle.
No, I'm not trying to be the gazelle. We've been the gazelle forever. I'm tired of being the gazelle. Why I always got to be the one to get ate?
Gazelles are fast.
Yeah, but then the tiger gets you. The tiger gets you. The tiger, and he rips a pound of flesh out.
And let's be honest, in the White House right now, Donald Trump's a lot of things. He ain't a gazelle.
No, he ain't a gazelle. And we gazelles running around talking about, forget Donald Trump. I ain't got nothing. You a gazelle. He ain't even like a tiger. He's like 10,000 tigers, and you over there talking about, I tell you another thing. No, you better sit your gazelle self down. Anybody got time to listen to you? You better sit down somewhere. And we ain't got time to be like, what you doing with that gazelle? Well, do you know that gazelle? No. But you picked him up and you sending him somewhere. I don't know that gazelle. I don't know that gazelle. If he's gonna be your dinner, he's gonna be. I don't know. I never met that gazelle in my life. That's what I'm just telling you, survive. Like, this is just about survival. Like right now, the decline of America, this is about survival, and we ain't surviving real good.
So we have more leverage. As a matter of strategy, Black people, we have much more leverage with Democrats than with Republicans. So like, raise hell in your NAACP meetings, raise hell with your Democratic leaders, and don't let them talk about anything that doesn't have to do with Black money and getting money and contracts and businesses in Black communities, and jobs in Black communities. Good jobs too, $20 an hour jobs in Black communities. Like we have juice with Democrats, and don't let them give you any excuse, because they're not even in power, so they shouldn't have any excuse for anything.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to take on Trump. That's just me right now.
I ain't taking on no.
I want to fix the party we actually vote 95% for, where we actually have juice.
I'm gonna say something that's real mean, right. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. My heart is not that dark. It's a little bit dark, but
you think of some awful things.
I do. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying that sometimes we don't understand that we're in the jungle, and sometimes when you see a tiger coming, sometimes you gotta throw him a gazelle. And just take off running. I mean, that's just the jungle. I'm not telling you that I made it this way. Sometimes you just gotta be like, here, and you gotta throw it one. I didn't make it this way. And if you form a coalition with me and you
work it out
for Black people, maybe we can have a conversation. But right now, I just need to get away from the tiger, and he coming, and you kind of slow. So I'm gonna take off and just kind of kick you a little bit, because that's the jungle. That's the way jungle work. And right now, the capitalism has created the worst jungle.
Right.
And I don't see anybody. People talk about global solidarity. I don't see anybody making any kind of headway in terms of global solidarity. I can't agree with half of the Black people I run up to. You want me to agree with a Black person or a brown person all the way over here, there, to and fro, and we have all kind of cultural barriers, language barriers. I just think it's unrealistic. That's my point of view. You can differ, but it is what it is. So
right. So let's look out for Black communities in these United States.
Yep.
And And like I unlike Yvette, I actually want to be in solidarity with other people of color.
And listen, if they do, I'll be willing to listen to you, Army. I won't close you out. I will be willing to have a conversation.
But they got to come first. They got to be in the front lines. And like, look, I'm not don't black people don't be out there stopping freeways. Like,
you're crazy. Getting in front of a car.
Getting in front of a car for immigration. No.
Let the white people take yourself home.
But
half of y'all didn't get in front of no goddamn prison when black people was getting picked up by droves, especially black men. No. Y'all didn't get in front of no prison and fight, but y'all at the airport. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't go to the airport for somebody like no. Not until they come to us with a black agenda.
Yeah.
And then like
let them come to the prison. Let them come to the prison and be like, let these African Americans go. This ain't right. Y'all got them in jail for weed violation stuff. That ain't right. Let them come to the prison. When they come to the prison, I'll have a conversation.
We can talk and broker something.
Until it ain't going to no airport, though. Kick my heels up at the house. That's what I'll do.
No, you'll do a little dance at the airport. I got my passport.
Yeah, I got my passport. If you don't want me to act a monkey, then you just need to come with something tangible, not just you should feel bad. Tangible exchange. That's how we do business. Hello.
Hi there. Hi. This is Dawn from Atlanta.
Hey, Dawn.
And hey, how are you? So, how did I find out that I was living an imaginary life? So my uncle's always told me, he's like, how do you afford this stuff? And it's funny, so I don't know, probably by my income, I would look like I'm middle class, but technically, like you always say, I don't truly have any wealth behind it, but my wake-up call has been, my daughter's a senior, and we are looking at colleges. And when I tell you, when y'all start talking about student loan debt, and I started really looking at, well, first of all, I make too much to get any financial aid, right? So she got no financial aid. They offered her like $5,500 in loan. Where can you go with that?
Yeah, no.
She's a good student, but just go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
Understand something. You know, so like the reality of, oh my gosh, I'm not really prepared. I don't have real money like this.
Yeah.
Like I can't stroke a $48,000 check to Maryland, and that's where I went and graduated. But I can't even get hurt. You know what I mean? Like we're literally looking like, how can we get in there? So when you talk about imaginary life and truly the understanding that you really don't have a foundation to truly pay for school, like it's literally slapping me in the face. So we're having real conversations. You may have to go to UGA and use hope and stay in state. You may not have that option because it doesn't make sense. The salary since the bank did it because we can't write a check for it.
No.
Now, what's interesting about, go ahead. Were you going to say something? Okay.
No, that was Army over there talking.
About this,
Hold on one second. Let Army have something to say.
I will say, okay. I'm at UGA right now. I'm a PhD in philosophy. If your daughter comes here, we do a pretty good job here in Athens.
Arby said he's a UGA, and if you come, so he said they do a pretty good job. Yeah.
And it's not that, I think what it is that it's that imaginary life. Oh, I don't want to stay in state. I want to go outside of state. I want to do this and that. But when you really look at the economics, we don't have it like that.
No,
stay in state.
Like, it doesn't make financial sense.
No.
But when I tell you, like, sitting down doing the math, like, honestly, sitting down and going, we're tripping.
No, she gotta stay home. Like that, like it doesn't even require a conversation really for me. Like you gotta stay home. It's too expensive. And then why would you want it? Like you can't have that debt. So then you're gonna be negative when you graduate because you have so much debt. It doesn't make any sense.
No, you're absolutely. So let me tell you what happened today. So like when I say anxiety, like when I say it's slapping me in the face, like you've been treading water, but you really don't have it like that. But at work, what's interesting is that the white people at work, they understand they don't have an imaginary life. So
Thank you.
Talking to them, a lot of them went to Auburn. So they sat in the Auburn and a lot of different schools. And so they were just talking. I said, you guys, honestly, I feel bad as a parent. Like, did your parents just stroke a check to these schools and write $48,000? And they just opened up and they were really honest. Their age range was like 28 to like 31. And they were literally like, we're settled with that. They give you private loans. And they all said, one, like I said, listen, don't you dare let your daughter go out of state. If I knew then what I know now, I never would have forced my parents to take on loans. I never would have forced them to let me go out of state because it is truly very financially disastrous. One is married, they can't have kids. Now, the difference between them, they plan. They're like, I cannot afford to have children. They were talking about their long student loan payments, how the interest had capitalized. Like, when I say they kept it real, so these are white people saying, like, we're crippled. The type of homes we can buy, what we can do, where we can move. Like, we're literally having to push everything in our lives out.
Yep.
Later and later.
Yep.
Because we cannot afford it. When I say it was a wake-up call, so for me, it was interesting because they kept it really real. I mean, they did make some mistakes, but it just really hit me that, you know what? You got to be honest. You can't sit in a fantasy world. And I will tell you, so I'm calling in because I listen all the time. I think you guys are great. But it really has helped me come down from the, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Like reality said that if I'm going to be smart and she's going to be smart, like, we've got to take the route that pleases her. That she's not a slave when she leaves.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I appreciate that. But you're exactly right. I appreciate the call. Listen, I want to drill down on one thing she just said.
University of Georgia is fine. Don't go out of state.
Yeah, Army over there, he philosophizing over there. But I want to get to one thing she just said. She said these white people are saying they don't have money for kids. When white people tell you that they don't have money for kids, you got to think about how many babies you having and if you can have babies. Because you got white people saying they can't have them, they can't afford them. This is a huge deal. Ain't no more, I just want to go out of state. I want to experience life. No. If you can afford a state school, that's what you get. And that's just life. And you got to be okay with it. Ain't nothing wrong with UGA. It's a lot of wonderful stuff around UGA. My niece went to UGA, graduated from UGA. Ain't nothing wrong with UGA. Send her up there. Or down there, depending on where you live. But no, she's in Atlanta, so send her up there. But yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And they got to stop believing there's something wrong with that. It's a great school.
It is. I'm there. I'm learning what I need to learn. I might be your daughter's TA. Who knows?
Yeah. And if you need tutor, we'll get Army over there.
We got our intern. He was one of my students.
Our intern is over there. Our intern that comes in, Matthew, he's a UGA.
He was one of my students, and now he's an intern. And look, man, it's not worth going $30, $40, $50, $100,000 in debt now. That's not the life we're living.
Well, you're going to be 30, 40 anyway, but ain't you?
If she goes in state.
Even in state.
Well, there's a Hope Scholarship. She sounds like a pretty good student, so I don't know.
Yeah, but we're talking about just don't go six figures.
Yes.
Don't go six figures in debt for nobody. Don't go 80. Like, you can come out like in these schools are like 30 or something. Like, I mean, I hate that, but it's still not what you would because you get in-state tuition. Come on, man. No, let's not do it. You want to take one last one, I remember you want to.
No, let's do it.
Let's take one last call, everybody. Let's make it work. Let's make it matter.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Yvette?
Yes.
Hello?
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I wanted to say that I was concerned because it sounded like you said that you couldn't get around to, negotiating with the president. And like I said, we're not going to get anything unless people sit down and negotiate with this guy. Why can't y'all just get like 4 or 5 things on a piece of paper, right? Get it over to Omarosa, right, so she can put it in front of. Something like, a historical tax credit for black people.
Yeah.
Letting black people go to college, right, and as a tax credit, and letting the college just write it off as some, under like a reference or something. But with the express understanding that more things will be, negotiated in the future. But we got to get something on paper and get it in front of them.
I did.
Cry, like,
Well, hold on. I did get something on paper. And I did give it to some black Republicans. So I did do that, but I didn't do it in person, but I did do it through back channels. So I have gotten something on paper, and I did give it to some black Republicans who said they were going to be getting in with the president. So I did get something on paper. I didn't get the opportunity to meet, but I did get something on paper.
Okay.
Right. Okay, but like I said, there's too many people saying that they're not going to negotiate with these guys, and that is really stupid.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, caller. All right, everybody. Good show. I enjoyed y'all. If you're watching this, please share this if you haven't shared it already. Please like it if you haven't liked it if you haven't liked it on Facebook. Please share it if you're on YouTube. Share it to your friends. Please go to donatebrown.com. You can donate to us. Please go to breakingbrown.com if you want to get the newsletter. The newsletter comes out every Sunday. It has all the data links and everything that we have. So do that for us if you want to get the newsletter and everything. It has articles I come around during the week too that I just feel like we need that will help us have a political education and that sort of thing. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so that we can get to like 20,000. We're at 18 right now. So if we can get to 20,000, that'll be great. And
tell your friends.
Let's start having watch parties. Let's do something. And it is what it is.
The best black politics out there.
It's just so we're trying to have this conversation. I don't think anybody on YouTube is having this conversation. So I want to have this conversation. I want to keep having it with you. So, let's see what we can do. Hopefully we got the forum coming up, hopefully. It's going to be on breakingbrown.com so we can keep the conversation going in a way and have kind of in-depth conversation as opposed to just like, YouTube. I try to get the trolls out, but the trolls are everywhere. So, so we can keep this conversation going, stuff like that. And I mean, so we can do something. Maybe we can have a tour and like travel around and have these conversations in person. There's a lot of stuff we can do. So the woman talked about a book. We're talking about an app. So all that stuff requires funding. So I appreciate everything y'all do, and I'll see you later.